ended up making the conscious decision of becoming a Muslim. So from 24 to 27, for 3 years, you were of your own volition a Muslim.
Correct. And then as of, I would say last year, I kind of stepped away from it so that I can discern for myself. I felt like I made the decision to convert to Islam out of listening to different debates and listening to the things that my father says and all these other things, instead of discerning for myself and actually reading through the whole Quran,
3 years ago, embraced Islam, but then you decided, let me take a step back last year to re-examine my decision of becoming a Muslim and to see both sides. Now, you said listening to debates. Who introduced you to the debates, and what debates?
I would listen to mostly, my father would send me videos every so often, and I'd watch Mohammed Hijab. I'd watch, what's his name? I think it's Zaire, the Indian.
Zakir Naik?
Yeah, Zakir Naik.
All right.
I think Ahmed Debat.
Interesting, man. So you watched them, okay. And then what happened?
I just felt like logically some things they were saying were making sense. And so I guess the videos I was watching was mostly people that they were going up against who couldn't really stand on a foundation to explain themselves.
Precisely, yes.
What made his message so profound that like he has like a large following, like
not according to history, no. In Mecca, he had a small following. He had to flee to Medina, become head of state, then conquer Arabia by the power of military force. Have you read Islamic history? That's not true. This is part 2 now. What Muhammad said about women. Here you go. Chapter 2, verse 228. The divorced shall wait the result until they have had their courses thrice, meaning 3 monthly cycles, nor ought they to conceal what God hath created in their wombs. If they believe in God, and last say, so if you're pregnant, let your husband know that who's about to divorce you. And it will be more just in their husbands to bring them back when in this state they desire what is right. And it is for the woman to act as they act by them. In all fairness, but the men are a step above them. Men have a degree above women. And I'm going to show you Muhammad's interpretation. Chapter 2, verse 282. And get 2 witnesses. When you are engaging in business transaction, you need 2 witnesses. And what must they be?
Men.
Well, what if you can't find 2 men? Now watch the solution. And if there are not 2 men available, then a man and 2 women. Why a man and 2 women? You only need 2 male witnesses. But if you can't find 2 male, you need a man and 2 female witnesses. Why is that? I'm going to show you why. Tafsir al-Jalalain on 282. Why does it require 2 female to equal 1 man? Here, the number of women is because of the fact so that if one of the 2 women errs, forgets the testimony, given their lesser astuteness and accuracy. Do you really believe that garbage?
No.
But that's what chapter 2, verse 282 of the Quran says right here.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't make sense.
So that was chapter 2, verse 288. So why do you need 2 females? Because they're less astute and accurate. Oh, really? Now, what about chapter 4, verse 34? It says men are superior to women, which is why a man can discipline a woman and beat her. Now, what makes the man superior? Here, Tafsir al-Jalalain. Men are in charge of, they have authority over women, disciplining them and keeping them in check because of that with which Allah, God has preferred the one over the other. That is because God has given them the advantage over women in knowledge, reason, authority, and otherwise. So men are smarter. They're more reasonable. All right. Here's another commentary attributed to Ibn Abbas, Muhammad's first cousin. Some say, well, it's not really from him, but still, these are narrations that were attributed to him. Even if it's not from him, it at least tells you what Muslims were thinking. Chapter 2, verse 228. Why does it take 2 women? Because a man has a degree over them. In relation to the reasoning faculty, this is now chapter 2, verse 228, not chapter 2, verse 282, where it says 2 witnesses. See, I even get tongue-tied. Chapter 2, verse 228. Why does a man have a degree over a woman? Because a man has a degree over them regarding reasoning, faculty, inheritance, blood money as witnesses in court, and also that which they owe them in terms of expenditure and service. Now, why do men have a degree over them? In what way? They have a degree over a woman in reasoning, faculty, inheritance, blood money, and witnesses in court. Because you only need 2 men, whereas with women, you're going to need a man and 2 women. And this tradition, attributed to Ibn Zayd, when Eve sinned, Allah said, this is your punishment. I will also make her stupid, although I had created her intelligent, Halima, and must make her suffer pregnancy and birth with difficulty, although I made it easy for her to be pregnant and give birth. Ibn Zayd said, were it not for the affliction that affected Eve, the woman of this world would not menstruate, and they would be intelligent, and when pregnant, give birth easily. Now, I could talk about Muslim men beating Muslim women. Scourge here, but I want to skip that part. because I want to show you what Muhammad said. Majority of people in hell are women. The Prophet said, isn't the witness of a woman equal to half of that of man? Because it takes two women equal to testimony of one man. The woman said, yes. He said, this is because of the deficiency of a woman's mind. So according to Muhammad, your wife is stupid. They're not as intelligent as you. Are you okay with that?
No.
But wait, you're a Muslim. Why wouldn't you be? No, but this is your religion.
Yeah.
Right? Hypothetically, you're still a quote unquote, you're on a search, but if you're a Muslim, he just said, listen, man, I'm not insulting your mom, I'm just telling you. Do you believe that about your wife?
No.
Would you believe that about your daughter if you had a daughter?
No.
But you are going against Muhammad. You just proved you're not a Muslim because you're saying Muhammad is full of it. Because here again, narrated Abu Sayyid al-Khudri. Once Allah's apostle went out to the Musalla on the Eid al-Adha or al-Fitr, then he passed by the woman and said, oh woman, give alms, as I've seen that the majority of the dwellers of hellfire were you. So the majority of people in hell are who?
Women.
Do you believe that the majority of people in hell will be women like your mother and your wife?
I would hope not.
But he says the majority of people in hell are women. That means there's a greater likelihood for your mother to be in hell than in paradise. If we go with these odds, right?
And that's not a fair and just God if they're not given the equal playing grounds as a man.
No, but you saw Allah said they're stupid. They're not as knowledgeable. They're not reasonable. Why? Why though? Here's the reason. They asked, why is it, oh Allah's apostle? He replied, you curse frequently. Last time I checked, men curse as much, don't they?
Yeah.
So why is he blaming them for cursing? Now watch. Not only that, you curse frequently and are ungrateful to your husbands. Last time I checked, I've seen more men be ungrateful to their wives and cheat on them, right?
Yeah.
But look what Muhammad is saying. The reason why the majority of people in hell are women, because you curse and you're ungrateful to your husbands. Now watch here. I've not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence, religion than you. So do you actually believe that your wife and your mother are more deficient in intelligence, religion than you? You, the man?
No.
But Muhammad said, then you're not a Muslim. You're no longer a Muslim, buddy. Are you listening to yourself? You're disagreeing with you're disagreeing with the Quran. But wait, a cautious, sensible man could be led astray by some of you. So only women lead men astray. Men have never led women astray. But now watch. Go ahead. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, I see a lot of, this is the type of stuff that I knew was lurking in there that I guess that in the back of my mind, I knew there was more into it if you read into it.
Yep. And I gave you the sources. You got the links. Go back and see where I've lied. I haven't lied. I'm quoting their sources. Now watch this though. They asked him though. Watch her. The woman said, ask Allah, Allah's apostle, what is deficient in our religion, intelligent religion? Now watch, listen to this, man. Listen. He said, is not the evidence of two women equal to the witness of one man? He's getting that from the Quran, isn't he? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm confused. Who said it takes two women equal the testimony of one man?
Allah
Muhammad
said that to him. Yeah.
He said, is not the evidence of two women equal to the witness of one man? They replied in the affirmative. Now, you know why they did? Because they're a Muslimah. They believe the Quran. Yeah, you're right. The Quran says it takes two of us to equal one man. He said, this is the deficiency in her intelligence. Now watch this part. Isn't it true that a woman can neither pray nor fast during her menses? The woman replied in affirmative. He said, this is the deficiency in her religion. Did you catch it? He says, you've been forbidden from praying or fasting when you have your menses, right?
Yeah.
He goes, see, that's what makes you less religious than men. So Muhammad is blaming women for something they cannot control.
No, I don't agree with any of that.
Then you're not a Muslim. You know you're not a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So you pretty much renounced Muhammad.